Do you know your style personality? Well, we're about to find out because we are going through the style personality section of Fashion 101. And the style personalities are going to help you to not only discover what it is that you're trying to express with your style, but it's also going to give you direction for our style vision board workshop that we're going to have coming up next week. Well, depending on when you're watching this, it'll be the last week of February 2025. So, if you are not aware of what style personalities are, I'm about to give you a quick overview before I get into them. Now, style personalities, they basically give your style words. They give you a way to explain and describe what it is that you're trying to express and to exemplify with your fashion. There are 8 different style types that I'm going to go through. And these style types work whether it's menswear or women's wear, and I'm going to show you what they look like depending on where you fall on the spectrum and how you like to dress yourself. And I'm going to explain what each style exemplifies so that as you're listening, you start to pick up on, oh, this is what I want to say with my clothes. This is what I'm striving to accomplish. This is what I see for myself in the future. Because all of these different components, each thing added on, is helping you to make dressing yourself even more simple. It shouldn't be complicated. It shouldn't be stressful, but sometimes it is because we don't have the proper tools and knowledge to be able to express ourselves. We have been doing this for the past 4 weeks. We've had our Fashion 101 classes, and each week it just gets better and better when it comes to the material, when it comes to the ways that people are expanding their minds and finding the words and even the clothes that expresses what it is that they've been trying to say. If you are not able to pick up what your style personality is, or maybe you just want a little bit more help, I do offer brand style audits. So I go through, you take a test, I look at your face, and I basically tell you what I think that your style is. I'm here and I would love to help you. So you can check that out. I'll link that down below. I'm going to include men's versions of these, like the pictures of them. Y'all give me a little bit because I got to gather those images, but I didn't want that to hold me up on doing our lesson today. But I'm going to describe the menswear version of each of these. So don't worry, guys, I got y'all. Okay, the classic style type is timeless, dependable, practical, conservative, and it's a balance of masculine and feminine. Pieces that you would qualify or that you would describe as classics, pieces that you would describe as classics, a blazer, denim, and typically it will probably be more like clean cut. You're not as likely to go for something like a distressed denim, but I did want to make sure that I gave some different varieties and examples because this can present itself differently depending on the other mixes that you might have in your style personality. So one thing that I forgot to mention is that you actually can have multiple style personalities. You can have up to 3. And so you'll even see that as you start to mix different elements, like the classic here, a natural here, a dramatic here, that you'll completely create the style that is uniquely yours, right? But just so you have examples, these are the things, the type of pieces that you might go for as a classic. So we got the blazers, we got the sneakers here, denim, a trench coat, and it's like a laid back, not necessarily too structured, but it does lean more towards like conservative side of things. And we have the vest here. This one is definitely a blend of some different styles, but we'll get into that later. I won't get ahead of myself. And so you see that there's like balance of the masculine and the feminine, especially when we're talking about women's wear or femme presenting people. This is what you would lean towards, and this is what it would represent for you. Now, if you are a man or if you are into menswear or if you're a masculine presenting person, then these are the things that you're trying to exemplify when it comes to your style. So you are the classic style is again about those timeless foundational pieces. You'll probably be into things like navy, charcoal, white, or beige. Those are what you would go for. Stick to things that age gracefully. It's like you want your pieces to be timeless. You want them to last. You like wool, cotton, tweed, and lightweight clothes that really lean heavy into the durability of things. Like silhouettes that are close to the body without being too tight, sharp but comfortable. Okay, your balance right there. Things like white sneakers, chinos that are like navy or olive, slightly tapered wool trousers, straight leg, dark, non-distressed denim. These are all different ways that you can exemplify this style. You may go for accessories that are matching. So your shoes and your belt are going to match. Simple watches, even like square structured leather bags, briefcases rather, or even like those messenger bags or something that is clean, durable, quality, classic, timeless pieces. You're looking for different brands that represent this. There's brands like Brooks Brother, Ralph Lauren, J. Crew, Burberry. These are all different brands that you might either go for when you're out shopping, or even the ones that you're inspired by, or like your aspirational brands that you're looking to emulate when you go shopping or when you get dressed. Okay, so your quote here is you are looking for timeless things that do not go out of style. So if you are a structured person, if you are a not structured person, if you are a classic style type, this is what it would look like both on the masculine and feminine presenting side of the spectrum. So we're going to get into our next one now, which is the elegant style type. Okay, let's get into the elegant style type now. So if you're elegant, the words that describe you are quality, luxury, sophistication, minimalism, poise, dignified, polished, ethereal, wise. For some reason, I feel like this is like gesture that makes me think of an elegant person. And the first that comes to my mind when I think about elegant is Kerry Washington, but specifically Olivia Pope on Scandal. Her style, y'all, it's clean, it's polished, it looks like it's money, but it's not loud. It's you think about quiet luxury and the elegant style type go together real bad. Okay. Just made that connection. So that is your style type. So when we look at the elegant style type, you see that there's a focus and emphasis on like luxurious fabrics, think like silks and satins, thread count cottons rather, the things that are like they got some weight to them. They just feel like they're expensive, like smooth. The fabric falls out of your hand. That's the luxury aesthetic we're going for. So you see here the silhouettes are very like timeless silhouettes, very similar to how the classic style type presents itself. But the biggest difference is that there's a higher emphasis on the luxury side of things, the elegance of things, and even just the quality of the materials that the classic doesn't necessarily care as much about. Like you're thinking about the difference, like elegant would be like, I want quality and I'm going to pay the money for it. And the classic would be, I want good quality at affordable prices, or good quality at level prices, maybe like not necessarily always going for the most expensive or the most high quality thing, as long as it's made well. You know what I'm saying? So you see here, got like Shahidi, she represents elegance so well. Have this classic like button down with a trench coat. This beret hat definitely is giving elegant. We have the satin fabric here, this silhouette. This right here, this actually is a little bit revealing than what you would typically see for somebody who's like an elegant style type, but you might have a mix, like I mentioned earlier with the classic style type. So this will still make sense, especially when you think about the shape of the dress and the fabric is a classic shape. We have this one here with the A-line and the pleated skirt. The star of the show right here that really makes this outfit elegant is definitely going to be this blazer, this tweed blazer. This one is all of it, like the sophistication, the high turtleneck, this long jacket here. So these are all different ways that you get the elegant style type. So if we're talking about this for the men or for menswear, then fabrics like wool, cashmere, silk, fine cotton, for a premium feel, those are all still true for menswear as well. And you're going to lean towards like classics, tones, especially the ones that make it feel like royalty almost. So think like forest green, charcoal, all of those add to the luxury aesthetic that you're going for with the elegant. Even with the monochromatic look, you're sticking to that one color family that makes your look sleek and cohesive. And it's still edgy in the sense that you're wearing one color, which is still bold, but it's bold in an elegant way. So you're looking for pieces that you will wear for menswear in the elegant style type. We're going to talk about crisp dress shirts, tailored turtlenecks, fine knit sweaters, slim fit trousers, overcoats, trench coats, pea coats, and wool or cashmere. I feel like I say cashmere. Okay, which you that's it. Like I could imagine the fabric in my hands, so I keep doing this. Oxford boots, especially like nice, well kept, polished Chelsea boots. Some details that you're definitely going to be particular about is having tailored clothes. Like clothes should look like they were made just for you. Things like cufflinks, pocket squares, and even understated lapel pins give it like a refined touch without doing too much. A dress shirt with a tailored blazer or a turtleneck with an overcoat. All of these are giving elegant, giving luxury, giving shmoney. Okay. When it comes to the different brands that would Cucinelli, Tom Ford, Ralph Lauren, Brooks Brothers, especially for their focus on tailoring fine fabrics. So those are the aesthetics or the vibes that you're going for. One thing that I do want to say, because I feel like with the elegant style type, there can be some people who are like, I want to be elegant, but I also feel like I want to be elegant, but I also feel like I don't have elegant money just yet, right? So here's what you want to do to start to incorporate more of that into your everyday style. First, you want to invest in high quality shirts, trousers, and even a good blazer that you can wear on multiple occasions. On getting your clothes tailored to ensure they look good on your body, so that they look like they're supposed to be on your body. Statement pieces like an overcoat or even a handmade pair of leather shoes. Like in the quality pieces over time, you will slowly start to embody more of that elegant style type. But one thing that I want to make sure that you are paying attention to as I'm speaking about this is that it takes time to adopt the style that you want to have. Like thinking about the clothes that you have in your closet, you got those clothes over time. You didn't just wake up and then boom, new wardrobe. You built it over time. So as you are growing and evolving into this elegant style type, if this is who you are, just know that the timeless pieces that you invest in are going to add to the style that you want to embody over time. So if you have to mix more expensive pieces with affordable ones, that's okay. And even leaning more into brands that create luxurious feeling things that are a little bit higher quality, like just start investing in more expensive things over time so that you can start to embody that sooner than later, right? But the point is that it can take time for each of these styles to begin to embody it, especially if it's one that is more of an aspirational one that you want to work towards. Okay. Last thing I do want to say is to avoid over accessorizing. Let the quality of your clothes speak for itself. Because again, luxury, when I say quiet luxury, that's the elegant style type. And there's nothing wrong with quiet luxury because that's not the only way to be luxurious. But what I am saying is that the elegant style type is definitely going to be understated. But the people that get it, you know what I'm saying? You get it. Well, no, like can recognize good quality. All right. So let's get into our next style type, which is the natural. And let me tell y'all one thing about the natural style type. In fact, I want y'all to tell me in the comments which one of these style types are you resonating with the most, because I have a theory that more people are going to identify with the natural style type than anything else. That's my theory. And the reason why I say that is because we live in America. And most of my audience is in America. And we do not like to be uncomfortable. Like our clothes, most of us really just want to be comfortable. We want to be confident. We don't want a bunch of muss and fuss when it comes to getting dressed. We don't have the time for that. Okay. We got things to do. So I think that the natural style type is going to be one that speaks to most people because it also is in line with American culture. But y'all just humor me and maybe prove me right or prove me wrong. We'll see. But let's get into the natural style type. So the natural style type is easygoing, laid back, simple, relaxed, open minded, confident, functional, and informal. So this style type is funny because it's not doing a lot, but it still exudes confidence. And I feel like part of that is just because you are comfortable. You think about something like this where it comes away from your body. So it's not hugging on anything that would make you feel self-conscious or insecure. Like you don't have to worry about, oh, how does my stomach look in this or how does my butt look in this? Like clothes, you're wearing something, it's comfortable, it's got pockets. So stuff like this, it makes you feel confident because you're comfortable, right? Which is a big thing. That's important, to be confident and to be comfortable. Things like this, like natural fabrics, the hoodies, jacket. This is where you might still indulge in distressed denim, as long as the denim is still, denim is one that a lot of people lean to just as like an easy fallback plan. Things like puffer jackets that kind of like a nod to athleisure, that give a nod to activities. Those are the types of things that represent the natural style type. Cottons, linens, things that literally come from nature that are natural materials. Those are things that also speak to you. A silhouette like this, especially with this hat here, it's a classic. It's not a classic look. It's kind of classic look, but it's just like I'm dressing it up, but I'm still comfortable. It's still natural. So this silhouette here, when it flows away from the body, she's wearing a t-shirt, so it still feels casual, and it's giving informal and formal at the same time because she has this style with the heels. And then we have here this denim look, this comfort sets. So these are the types of things, type of materials, and even like color palette that would speak to the style type. Now, if we're talking about menswear, the natural style type is about dressing with intention, and it draws inspiration from utilitarian workwear, classic menswear, and sustainable fashion. And the aesthetic is relevant today as more men are looking for practicality as well as self-expression. And even something like genres like streetwear, athleisure lean really heavy towards the natural style type. So many of the elements include like natural, relaxed, and even look like it's meant to look like I can do work in this. You can pretty much, it's like a multi-purpose outfit or a multi-purpose aesthetic. So you're into earthy and neutral tone, beige, olive green, camel, brown, muted blues, and it just gives like sense of harmony. So these are colors that are easy to wear, but they also just are effortless. They exude effortless confidence. So some of the fabrics, like I said before, cotton, linen, wool, hemp, especially because hemp is durable, eco-friendly, and it softens up over time. But you just like the fabrics that are breathable, that are easy to wear, that don't feel like complicated, easy to take care of, easy to wash. All of those things are appealing to you as the natural. So look for brands that are emphasize like production, eco-friendly materials, like a Patagonia. Are those type of brands, even like North Face, like things like that, where it kind of into the movement and the athleticism, or just like the, I want to say another word other than movement, but movement is the best word, I guess. That's what you lean into. So things like relaxed button down, unstructured blazers, oversized sweaters, leg chinos, relaxed fit jeans with minimal distressing. Now I can have some distressing, but they're not going to be like your trash jeans. Utility jackets, Carhartt, another brand that I think about when I think about natural, wax cotton bombers, the overshirts that are easy to layer, sneakers, rugged outdoor hiking inspired shoes. So these are the types of clothes that you might reach for as a natural. So some other brands that you want to look out for, COS, Nudie Jeans. I would even say that there's another one that I think would really do well with this category. Even if it's not those stores in particular, you're going for pieces that remind you of those stores, basically. So even if you're not buying those brands, that's the aesthetic and the style that is speaking to you the most. Okay. This style, just to wrap it up, is about a lifestyle that embraces comfort, sustainability, and effortless confidence. Okay. Earthy tones, the organic fabrics, and the timeless wardrobe staples. It makes it easy to create outfits that are authentic and are versatile. So they work again for a wide range of activities and occasions. So that is the natural style type. So after I gave that description and showed y'all these images, I really want to know who feels like they're a natural. Okay. You are a natural. There is nothing wrong with that. I just, for myself, for my own amusement, I would love to know if my theory is correct. So let's get into the dramatic style type. Now, the dramatic style type is actually one of mine, and I really love this style type. I love the drama. I love the extra. I've always just been an extra person. When you listen to this and you see these examples, you're going to understand why. If you know anything about my style, it's not going to surprise you at all. Okay. The dramatic is all about bold, unusual, excited, dependent, making a statement, intense, theatrical, sharp, powerful, avant-garde, masculine. Okay, is the dramatic style type. And as you can see, there's already multiple examples of that strong shoulder, the embellishments on this blazer dress, along with the sharp shoulder, like the drama, that's the angular, that's the masculine energy that's being brought into this look. Okay. So when I talk about masculine versus feminine, I'm not necessarily talking about man versus woman or what men should wear and what women should wear. Rather, I'm talking about the idea of what masculinity looks like in art, right? So when I'm talking about masculine, I'm talking about like boxy, square things that like sharpness to them, right? When I'm talking about feminine, I'm talking about things that are soft, curving, circular. Those types of movements in clothing and in art represent a softer, more feminine. And the masculine, like I said, is just more sharp and angular, right? So when I'm talking about that, just so you know what I'm speaking on, all right? Not necessarily man versus woman, but just those elements that represent the yin and the yang, right? The masculine and the feminine, the harmony that they bring together and how you balance each other out. So the other elements would also be the shoulders on this blazer here, jacket here, the shoulders here, the bold colors, the angles, the sharpness of the pants in this outfit, the drama that the long leather vest creates. Even this piece by itself is definitely a dramatic piece. Even here, like contrast between the black and the white, it makes it more striking and it makes it more like your face. So these are the types of things that represent the dramatic style type. And honestly, it could get like more dramatic than even this is right now. This one, I think, is how the dramatic can be represented in a more like casual, but a more like look like this is what most people will probably lean to when they're dramatic, but it can get even more extreme and more avant-garde and more just extra if you wanted to. So for men, it is also still about that bold avant-garde, eye-catching. You want people to notice you. Like, you want to be the center of attention. You want to catch people's attention when you walk in. You are okay with your outfit being like there and it catching people's attention. So it's about making a statement through sharp contrast, exaggerated silhouettes, and striking details. So think edgy tailoring, and things that command attention. Okay. So things that you can do as far as a color palette goes: high contrast neutrals like a jet black and a stark white, bold accents like deep jewel tones, metallics, and neon colors, monochromatic drama, all black or all white, and have different textures to really give it something interesting. And then things that you would typically avoid are muted pastels or even like colors or tones that are overly safe. And so even for me, I'm typically not drawn to the beiges and the tans and the natural colors. And it's not that I don't think that they look good on me. I just feel like most times it's not necessarily what I'm trying to say. You feel like it's too safe for me. And that's okay. Like, that's your thing. And if it's not, we all have our different style personalities for a reason. So some of the fabrics that you into are leather, silk, satin, velvet, and metallic finishes, even like texture. So a heavy wool, a PVC, quilted fabrics, neoprene. I'm trying to think of like how to describe what neoprene is, but it is like that soft looking fabric that is really stiff. Like, you know, a lot of times they would make like peplum tops out of it so that it has that shape on its own and it really gives it like drama. So those are the types of fabrics that you might go for. And as far as patterns go, animal print, geometric, grids, abstract, asymmetrical designs, all of those are your playground. Some pieces that you can look into that will be key pieces for you are drape tunics or mesh shirts, leather pants or wide leg trousers with exaggerated pleat, length coats, cape, get you a cape. Okay. You are a dramatic, get you a cape. Footwear could include chunky combat boots or pointed toe Chelsea boots, or even anything that just looks like it was like, right. So some of the brands that you might reach for are ones like Rick Owens, Balmain, Alexander McQueen, Off-White. So these are like ones that either you are attracted to and you actually purchase from, or again, the ones that you would just be drawn to in terms of inspiration. If that's what you're going for. So it's avant-garde, it's bold, it's look at me, I want to be seen. Okay. I want to do the most. I'm here to cause a commotion. That's the dramatic. All right. So the dramatic style type, I'm curious like how many people would identify with that, but dramatic is one that I would definitely say, I don't know likewise how many people I would say fit in this category, but I do know that it takes certain kind of person to be okay with attention. It takes a certain kind of person, especially if you are intentionally commanding attention with your clothes. Like kind of wild when you think about it, because we're not supposed to that we want attention, but I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see what's wrong with wanting attention. Maybe the ways that we do it. I'm going down a whole rabbit hole, y'all. Let me get back on track. But fashion, it has me thinking in so many different ways. Sometimes it brings so many different ideas to my mind, and that's why I love it. All right, so let's get into our next style type, which is the ingenue. Ingenue is warm, innocent, delicate, youthful, princess, feminine, soft, endearing, and kind. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that I mention, the words might sound nice, okay? This might be words that describe you as a person. But one thing that I have noticed is that your style doesn't always directly correlate to who you are. And when I say that, I mean that you can be a kind person, you can be a warm person without dressing like this. Like it still be that. And it's so interesting how we can use fashion to our advantage. It could be to our disadvantage, depending on the perception that we give off. But the fact that we judge people based off of their clothes when what they're wearing may not even represent all of their personality is very interesting to me. But anyway, let's get into the ingenue. So as you can see, it's a soft like paisley patterns, floral patterns, very delicate details like this lace here with the embroidery. The silhouette, the shape is one that it makes you look like a princess. So you see here, the shape of this skirt is definitely giving that princess aesthetic. The ruffles on this sleeve are innocent, they're warm, they're youthful, and then even down to the details of the fabric. And then we also have this collar here. You also see the collar on this one as well, like this scallop collar, not scallop, but this round collar and this pointed collar here, this aesthetic, even the shape of this dress all lean towards that warm, youthful, innocent, charming aesthetic that the ingenue represents. And so as you can see, the colors are soft pastel. Think about what you would wear to Easter, but if you're ingenue, Easter is every day for you. And these are the different ways that you can represent this and portray this. Other things that you might like with are like a fairy things that are just like, and like this is what you would represent. Sabrina Carpenter, there we go. Sabrina Carpenter, she definitely is embodying the ingenue style type, and it is even like into like I want to say it's like aesthetic, like decade. So that is ingenue for the women's wear. Now, when we're talking about menswear, ingenue can still be done. And so it is represented by a man who is going for a fresh, youthful, and subtle romantic aesthetic. And it channels this innocence and softness and a touch of whimsy. Now, although it's traditionally to female fashion or feminine fashion, it can still be done for men's fashion through delicate details, light colors, and a boyish charm that feels approachable and timeless. So think preppy nostalgia or romantic softness that exudes that warmth, that gentleness, and yet a little bit of a playfulness to the look. So things like colors like soft pastels, light neutrals, very subtle patterns like the tiny florals, gingham, pinstripes, and polka dots. Want to avoid things that are harsh contrast, the dramatic, because you're not the aesthetic that you're going for. Like colors and even anything that's like moody, too dark, too broody, that is not a ingenue style aesthetic. So tops like and pastel hue, tailored shorts, pleats or with cuffed hems, unstructured blazers in linen or tweed, penny loafers, saddle shoes, or minimalistic white sneakers. They're all different key pieces that you can start to include into your wardrobe. And you want to play around with proportions like crop jackets and high waist pants, or even oversized sweaters and slim fit trousers, delicate embellishments like lace or mother of pearl buttons, embroidery, suspenders, bow ties, or even a pocket watch. Get you a pocket watch. Okay, the vintage touches. And this style aesthetic, I'm glad that that's up there. This style type does lean into like, so you may even find a lot of success in achieving this look by going to thrift stores, going to estate sales, secondhand, having things that are maybe passed down that maybe came from a grandfather or uncle or just someone that has been around for a minute. Vintage is going to really help to bring this whole look together. All right. So some brands that represent this are ones like Gant, Ralph Lauren. Some of these, I have to look for some more. I said that I was going to do that before, but I definitely want to look for some more brands that represent this. But as far as that embody this, I want y'all to think about Tyler, the Creator, during his Call Me If You Get Lost era. So remember, he was wearing a lot of like crew neck sweaters, and he was wearing a lot of soft pastel colors, and it looked like he was almost like in the 50s, just even the way that his videos were recorded, like was in a different time period. So that is what that could look like and how that can be represented from a male perspective. Menswear fashion. All right. So that's the ingenue, embracing that youthfulness, that charm, subtle romance, soft, endearing, kind, like it's a very like style type. All right. Okay, let us go to our next one. This is the sexy / romantic style type. And so sometimes you might see it as sexy, actually do prefer romantic, but I included sexy in this because sexy is absolutely a style, absolutely a style type. And there are people, both men and women, who have this desire to embrace like sexuality, embracing their bodies. There's a certain like that they have in this. And so this style type is one that's absolutely important to mention because I feel like it's the one that gets the most criticism. It's interesting because again, I just feel like it reflects like in even how we handle conversation like these. Let's get into the style type. The words that describe this style type are liberated, daring, glamorous, flirtatious, seductive, womanly, delicate, and detailed. All right. And so, as you can see, it is a celebration of womanhood. It is a celebration of your body, your sensuality, the things. It's like to the senses. Like, this is what this style type represents. And so you see that there's mermaid fit here, but it's still a fitted dress. We have this one here that I used a few of them to show how you can do this even in a more modest way. You can still have this style type. So you see here, she's layered it with a turtleneck, but the fabric is in the shape of the dress is still giving sexy. We see the shape here with Chloe Bailey and her style. Lace here, the peekaboo that you see in this dress here, those are details that are romantic. The leg that's popping out here, and even this high slit here, like this shape, this silhouette is giving sexy. All right. So if we're talking about the men, you can still be sexy slash romantic. And for you, it is about embracing sensitivity, passion, and a touch of poetic drama. So details that evoke a timeless allure, things that balance boldness with vulnerability, combining luxurious fabrics, flowing silhouettes, and even subtle embellishments to have that magnetic charm that really just like people in. So your color palette, you'll most likely lean towards rich jewel tones, soft neutrals like a cream or a charcoal, romantic pastels like a dusty rose or a lavender, even a muted gold. And then things that you would typically want to avoid are harsh neon tones or even anything that seems too utilitarian, like military green, like army fatigues, or just things that are in navy blue. So things that feel too militant or utilitarian are not going to be the most flattering on you. So fabrics like velvets and silk, brocade, cashmere, wool and satins, embroidery, jacquard patterns, or even a subtle brocade to give it like that regal touch. And this style type, I feel like it pairs really well with either the Sovereign brand personality or the Lover brand personality. And if y'all have been following and you watch those videos where I broke down the different brand personalities, then you already know. If you haven't, then this is going to be the perfect time for you to add that to your save list, y'all. Add that to your watch later and go and listen to these brand personalities, because you'll start to see how you can bring those two things together, especially if you are an entrepreneur. If you run a business, your brand is something that you're definitely going to want to invest in. And so this is how they all start to merge together and make sense together. I'll get into that in more detail another day, especially if y'all show me that you really want to know, then I'll do it for you. So some of the pieces that you'll go for are like billowy white shirts or even linen shirts. Of course, like going to be a little cleavage there. It's going to be chest out. All right. Blouses, high-waisted trousers, coat, boots, and even embellished loafers. Those are all things that would give like romantic look. Far as accessories go, like rings, thin chain necklaces, silk scarves, wide brim fedoras, satchels, vintage inspired briefcases. So these are the types of things that you like typically go for. This personality. Oh, I'm skipping over my words. This is what you would go for as far as accessories go. All right, y'all. So some of the brands that might inspire you are ones like Gucci, Dolce and Gabbana. They're like two big ones, but there are honestly so many brands that lean into like sexy romantic look, but those are the ones that are like staple. Everybody knows those brands. So let's talk about the creative style type. And before I talk about the creative, y'all, we have the creative and we have one more style type after this. So if you have still been watching this, if you're listening, I want y'all to let me know. Put it in the comments that I'm still here if you're still listening, and let me know how this video, how this lesson has been helping you, and if it's giving you some ideas about what your style type might actually be. And if it's something that you've ever heard of before, let me know that too, because I would love to hear people's perspectives on my interpretation on these different style types and how it's represented. So let's go ahead and get into the creative now. The creative style type is about eclectic, artsy, rebellious, offbeat, and unique. Okay. So this one is the one that's like quirky person. This is the person who is most likely into things like thrifting, upcycling clothes, even like designers, artists. A lot of people in those categories identify with this creative style type. So as you can see, there's lots of bold colors, bold patterns, unusual, different ways of putting things together, the asymmetry that's here, the mix of all the patterns that are here, these hearts that are on the blazer that are just like indifferent, and even this color combination. And then this here, like, girl is just wearing a veil on a random Tuesday. Like just wearing a veil with a beret. And I love that for her. And then pairing it with cowboy boots, or even here, how this is really leaning into the artistic side of things with the painted sunflowers and the clouds on the pants, like about the art. And so one thing that's important for this style type is that it is really about expressing a particular perspective, and treat clothes like an art form. Like clothes are not just about being dressed, but it's about being walking art. And this is one that I definitely feel that I'm wanting to lean more into, because this is how I've always been described and like myself. But the problem that I ran into with this style personality and expressing it is that I felt it takes a lot of courage to do it, basically. And so sometimes get to a place where I don't want to be different. Like I just want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be different. I don't want to be the person that don't get until later. Like I want people to understand me now. But with this style type and the personality that's often with it, you just don't get that sometimes. You know, it just doesn't happen. And so you have to be willing to say that I have a perspective that I need to share. I got things I got to say. I have a reason why I'm showing up the way that I am. And this is what it is. You know, just let that be that. So the creative style for men is about fearless self-expression, innovation, and breaking sartorial rules. Okay, rules. Like for you to tell me that I can't wear this, like can't I wear my bra on top of my sweater? I think I'm going to do it anyway. Really said, who made you the person to decide that? And so style is about again treating your outfits like walking art, it being different, it being out there, but it's making a statement, like wearing this because I have a reason. I don't know what the reason is for you, but I have a reason why I'm wearing it. So your color palette is going to lean into bold contrast. So think like electric blue and a mustard yellow. Neutrals like a charcoal gray and ochre, or muted metallics. Clashing patterns like stripes with florals, polka dot with animal print, and it's all harmonized through color coordination, which is a whole thing in and of itself, mixing prints, y'all. Then head to toe black with varying textures. I literally just did an outfit like this, one of my last Utadas. And so if y'all haven't seen it, literally like you how to do monochromatic and still make it interesting. Yeah, some of the fabrics that you would go for are Luxe silks or velvets with utilitarian like denim, or even tech fabrics like a reflective nylon. Knits, hand painted jackets, or upcycled material. Leather, fringe, or even fabric that's manipulated through pleating or ruching. Or pieces that you might reach for, like blazers, wide leg parachute pants with cargo pockets, quilted bombers with mismatched sleeves, chunky ugly sweater, like the Balenciagas, painted loafers or sandals with tech straps. Like really about just like the unexpected and the unconventional when it comes to the creative style type. So some of the accessories that you might reach for are layered chain, hat, backpacks, glasses with colored lenses or asymmetrical frames. So all of these are different ways that you can bring the pieces together for your creative style type. Now, your inspo may come from brands like Rick Owens or even Off White, but to be real with y'all, you're really gonna be drawn to ways that you can customize your clothes. So things like upcycling, repurposing, designing your clothes from scratch, those are the things that are going to help you to really express that creative style type in the most effective way. So you may not necessarily be drawn to buying as much from brands because you may not feel like they're like your story or they're not sharing the perspective that you want to have. So if you often find yourself saying, I need to do this to this, I need to tweak it, I need to alter it, I want to adjust this, then you might definitely be the creative style type. All right. So let's get into our next and last one, the gammon style type. And so this is another one that represents me, y'all. And the gammon is all about being spunky, punk, playful, energetic, sporty, or casual. So it kind of some of those natural elements and even some of the classic elements, as you'll see, but it is its own thing. It has its own take on it, even with that. So the gammon style type, as you can see here, collar here, this one is actually, I was saying that this is not the best example in my opinion, only because of the length of this dress. I feel like it's missing the mark just a little bit. But even if this was something that was a little bit shorter, honestly, it could be like up to here kind of short, and that would definitely represent the gammon style type. Things like these crop blazer, the cropped pants that are here, you see the cropped is here as well. This stripe is something that's like signature that works really well for the gammon style type, even though it's not my personal favorite because no thank you. But there's this charm that is brought here. So this is another mix of the masculine that I was talking about. And so the thing that makes it different than the dramatic is that the gammon is going to be a little bit softer. So you're not going to most likely see like really like edges necessarily, but you will have things that kind of go both ways, or it's not overtly feminine or women's wear clothes. So even something like this, so the fit of the sweater definitely leans more towards wear than men's wear, but this is something that honestly man or woman could wear. This one's another example of that as well. It's even like it just gives like, and so things like that shape here, the sportiness of the sleeves on here, like that raglan sleeve shape. So this is the playfulness, the punk, and there it could even get more punk than this, but if you were, I think the real like, or even like the emo, it would lean more into dramatic or even the creative, just because it has like rebellious edge to it. But the gammon style type is like the definitely in the mix when it comes to that, definitely in the combo. So let's talk about what this looks like for the guys. So if we're talking about menswear, then you are going to lean into that youthfulness, that tailoring, and a touch of mischievous charm. And so this style for men embraces very similar qualities to the women's wear with the slim fits, high contrast styling, and has a playfulness and a slight vintage twist to it. And so you can see even in some of the examples for the women's wear that vintage nod, the playfulness to it as well. So let's get into what this looks like in terms of clothes. So your silhouette is going to be slim, tailored fit clothes. You're not going to go for the oversized and the baggy. We'll go for things like the classic Breton stripes that I showed you, those horizontal stripes that make you look like you in Paris. Contrast, black and white, navy and red, vintage inspired patterns, knits. You're going to go for fitted button downs with rolled up sleeves, slim high neck turtleneck, slim or straight leg trousers, often cropped. You would go for pea coats and structured trench coats, fitted blazers with narrow lapels. So it's again like a mix of like tailoring, playfulness, the like to the cutoff of the trousers being like high cut or cropped, that adds like playfulness to it. So when it comes to shoes, you might go for loafers or classic sneakers like a Converse. And then as far as accessories go, tied around your neck, slim belts or suspenders, newsboy caps or beanies, leather wristbands, or even vintage style watches. And so some of the that you'll see in this style, Holland Spider-Man definitely embodies this style, just like in his personal style. Even Bruno Mars, he not just Gammon, but I think he represents like a mix of the romantic slash sexy, especially with his like few albums. But that Gammon cut, like, don't really see him in things that feel like they're overwhelming or like overbearing. So that's what you would go for when it comes to the Gammon, and those are the inspirations that you can gain from. So that's the last one, y'all. So these are the different style types. Remember to let me know which one that you feel like represents you, or which ones. I'll put it that way. But this information is going to be available. I'll put the link to it in my description box so that you can go and you can check out all the details for this, for the menswear and for the women's wear. And then that's also where you can go and catch all the replays, the quizzes that we did last time, last few weeks in our last lessons. And that's even where you can go to ask me questions and just to get even more materials that I'm going to be sharing over time as I gather more style content for y'all. So if this helped you out, I am so excited to hear about your stories. If you do want to participate in the Style Vision Board workshop, is you're going to know your style personalities that we just went over. You're going to also need to have your affirmations that we did in our last week's lesson. And then you're also going to want to have your vision for your future as well. And that's also what we went over when we talked about style goals. So all those three things are going to help you to create our style vision board. And it's going to be a template that I give to y'all so that you can use that to just start plugging and playing with the images that you need. So that's it, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see y'all in the next video.